What's up, nerds? We're your hosts. I am Chad.
And I am Jake. This is our weekly podcast where we explore the world of nerd from TV, movies, games, comics, news, and books.
We will give you our opinions, theories, and oftentimes spoilers.
We will also have friends and experts as guests on the show to elaborate further on those topics.
But be prepared. We like to have a few drinks, so buckle up.
If you want to support our show, like, share, and subscribe wherever you enjoy your podcasts.
You can also become a premium subscriber over at buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd.
So let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd Podcast.
Nerd. Welcome, nerds, to the All Things Nerd Podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. Jake, I hope you had an okayish couple of weeks, but let's jump right into our first topic. And with that, cheers.
Think. All right, so we are going to talk about Gen V episodes 4 and 5. This is the spin-off series on Amazon Prime from The Boys. Before we get started, as usual, there's a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, come back, and that's enough time. So, where we left our heroisk people, our kids. We left the kids, the gang.
Hero adjacent.
The Scooby Gang.
I was just about to say the Scooby Squad.
The last time we saw them, they were getting in a fight with Sam, who's the superpowered brother of Golden Boy. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, all the heroes black out. And the next thing you know, they wake up, they're at a house party. They don't know what the fuck happened. That's how the episode ended. So picking up from there, go for it.
Yeah, everyone has blacked out, and they don't
days.
Yeah, they're like, how did we get here? We must have blacked out last night. Whoa. But they can't remember a couple of days before that either. Yeah. And there's even a point in time where Sam shows up during that episode, and like, especially Emma, who plays, well, that's not the actress's name either, Emma/Cricket.
Foxy.
No, well, fine.
He's a cutie.
But Sam shows up, and she doesn't even recognize him, but she's like spent several days with him.
None of them remember. Yeah. Lizzie Broadway. Wow. Or is it? I don't know if it's a Lizzie. It's Lizzie.
Liz or Lizzie.
Liz or Lizzie Broadway.
Lizzie. Maybe it's a little
She's
French.
A cutie. She's hot. Yeah.
Yeah. She's very good looking.
We like Lizzie.
Also, not just her looks, but she's probably one of my... Well, not probably. She is one of my favorite characters.
Favorite character. She is definitely my favorite.
Her
character.
And Jordan Lee are my two tops.
Jordan.
No, don't go there. Jordan Lee is also super rad. Yes. But she doesn't remember Sam. Trying to get back on topic,
None of them remember Sam.
Yeah, it's great. Don't.
I didn't.
You went, and then it made me know what you were thinking. That's how close we are.
Because we're connected.
I'm cold. I know. Because we're connected. Skirt.
Yeah.
And just like that, we're no longer talking about Gen Z. Now we're in the MCU. No, but it's a bunch of confusion trying to figure out what happened, how they all blacked out. They kind of sum it up to a wild house party. But during that time, Marie and Jordan Lee clearly hook up because they wake up naked next to each other in the same bed.
Woo.
But female Jordan, not male Jordan, which is the first that we've seen of it. Because anytime in the episode before, when they kind of like made out, Jordan would swap back to the male version of themselves. Yeah. So it's a whole bunch of confusion for them.
Once they realize what's going on, they think that Rufus,
the
kid who Marie explodes his penis, the episode prior, they think he did it because that's his power, is he can make you black out. But it turns out it's not him; it is somebody else with this power.
What's that?
Somebody
actor's
name? I got her right here. Wait, who?
Rufus.
Rufus? His name is Alexander Calvert.
Because he looks a lot like Aiden, what's his face, that played the young Han Solo, but even younger.
He does look like him. Yeah,
that's who I thought. That's who I thought it was at first until I looked it up and realized that it wasn't the same. But I couldn't remember his name.
This kid is from Supernatural. That's the only other thing I know him from. I also know that Eric Kripke is like the creator of The Boys, along with
he's the showrunner.
Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen. But this kid played Jack in Supernatural. If he looks familiar, he basically he basically is God. He becomes God after God fucks off in Supernatural. This kid takes over. Anyways, turns out that it's not him. And it is Kate.
Yeah. Golden Boy's girlfriend / Andre's new girlfriend /
whole lot of Tom fuckery.
Tongue fuckery?
Tom fuckery.
Friend fuckery? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just mishearing you every time you try and say this. My bad.
It's terrible. Her boyfriend just died, and his best friend is like, I miss him so much. Can I put my penis in you? And she's like, bet.
Yeah,
and
please, because I miss him too.
Yeah. Now we're connected. You like that?
Circling back.
It's weird. But yeah, so she's the one responsible. We find out that she can wipe people's memories.
Well, because by like physical touch, it's kind of like Rogue from the X-Men, but not like power draining, but like she can manipulate people through physical touch. So she'll be like, you didn't see this. You want to go do this. You want to
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
But with like touch.
Yeah.
You want to go stand in the corner and hit yourself in the dick with a baseball bat and yell Jumanji, which we saw in the first episode. You know. But yeah, it's her behind it. But she's being like coerced by
manipulated by
what's the new
I got her.
New dean?
Shepley.
Shetty. Dean Shetty, not Shepley. Dean Shetty.
Played by Shelley Khan.
Shelley Khan?
Mm-hmm.
She's menacing and beautiful at the same time.
She's very much the chick, the new chick from The Boys, the one that Homelander like is obsessed with, that was like manipulating everything until he burns holes through her eyes and kills her. The blonde chick from The Boys, she was in like the first season. He kills her at the end. He's like obsessed with her, and like she has a kid, and Homelander like wants to drink her titty milk.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's this chick. She's behind everything.
From the Karate Kid. Allison, whatever.
Oh shit, that is her. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, why are you trying to tie Karate Kid into this? But the actress, yes.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck?
not the same character, the same
actress. No, I got it. It took me a second. I'm a bit slow sometimes. I got it now. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's her. Yes.
Yes?
One more? But anyway, so
Say it
this
again, I'll believe you.
Shetty, she is the one that's like running the school. She's behind everything. You see her behind the scenes. She's the one who is experimenting on these kids. We know
Yeah,
that there's a
trying to
heavy
cover up
influence of
the
something called
woods.
the Woods. Yeah,
Yeah,
which is just like a painting. It's the wallpaper in this place, basically,
that basically
where
every
they're
patient can see through the prison glass.
yeah. And she's the one manipulating, killing, experimenting on all of these kids. And in the following episode, the latest episode, you do see her order, the doctor to kill kill one of the patients. He's like, hey, we infected her with this virus, blah blah blah, and she goes, well, concentrate it, give her more. I want to know how we can kill these bastards. So like, her motives are very sinister.
And that makes sense because at the school
Mhm.
that Gen V takes place around Gadalt University, they call it Gold U or GU, something like
I think
that.
it's yeah, something like that.
Is the previous dean who died in episode 1 didn't have powers but was fascinated by soups. And she took his place, and she's not a soup either.
The jury's out on that because I think I have a theory that she is like the chick in The Boys,
The senator.
the senator.
Yeah.
I think she does have a power and she just
She's
doesn't.
concealing it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think. But also, since you said that, that girl, the senator from The Boys,
Yeah.
because I know you haven't watched the newest episode, she shows up in the newest
Ooh,
episode.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's good. There's a lot of cameos. Speaking of cameos, we get the return of Jensen Short Guy, or Ackles,
You did that for one person and one person alone. Don't deny
and
it.
she doesn't even listen to this podcast, so it was for me. I'm the one person. I actually like Jensen Ackles. I'm just
Hi.
mad that my
I'm
my
the problem.
girlfriend
It's
is
me.
obsessed with him.
She doesn't
Jensen.
listen anymore? That's frustrating.
What was that?
I said she doesn't listen anymore? That's frustrating.
No, because the way she justifies it is that I talk her ear off about all this shit anyways, and she's like, I don't need to hear it twice. And I'm like, that's fair.
Just mute it. Give us the plays. Thank you.
Her whole life is muted.
That's mean.
It was mean.
was very mean.
Love you, babe.
You have a kid together. It's fine.
Anyways, Jensen Ackles reprises his role as Soldier Boy in a very weird way. He's
It's like a dream
basically
state.
a manifestation. Basically, in the latest episode, all the characters get trapped in Kate's head. And in her head, Soldier Boy is somebody that she would diddle herself to when she was a little kid.
Did you have to
And and he makes it very clear that her very underage self was flicking her bean to him, and he's like, oh, I made that girl come so many times. It's super weird. Yeah. But that was it. It was like a 1 to 2 minute scene. Like, he's barely in the episode. It's not actually him, it's a manifestation of him. But yeah, it was funny.
like in her subconscious?
Yeah.
Because since she wiped all of their memories, she like restores them.
Mm-hmm.
But by doing so, then they're trapped in her subconscious with her.
Yep. It was a fun episode.
I mean, we kind of mentioned because at the end of the last episode that we talked about, you know, Kate gets big. But then we also see Sam, the brother of Golden Boy, which is just the worst name ever.
Steg Birthday Golden Pony Boy.
Yeah. I mean, we see that he's a bit crazy, and we saw like snippets of it in the last episode that we talked about, where he sees like puppet
Fucking
manifestations.
hate that word.
Snippets?
I hate it.
Why snippets? Why?
I don't want to talk about it online or on air.
We'll talk about it in the break.
Yeah.
He sees like puppets,
Mhm.
and when he goes into a rage, he sees puppet versions of everything that's going on. I'm probably some psychosomatic way of dealing with the fact that he's ripping people apart.
Yeah. Which was such a fun scene because it was like he would explode somebody and just like glitter and confetti would come out of them, which is such a smart and efficient way to save money for like the production team that made this show. They're like, hey, like this is going to be like millions of dollars to shoot this scene. But if we do it as puppets and use confetti, we'll save us so much money. And I think it was hilarious and smart, and it was just I think it was really cool.
And then like when it goes back to him after the massacre, and he's just like walking through it, and you just see like half torn bodies, just like
innards laying all over the place. Yeah,
you know, so you don't have to worry about the production value of blood splatter or ripping these
the visual effects
prosthetics apart.
of it, yeah.
You know, you can just like build a prosthetic that hangs and it's bloody already.
But what's really funny with this puppet scenario is that Sam finally hooks up with Emma. Was it Emma?
Yeah, Emma.
Yeah, it is Emma.
Cricket.
Again, it's a smart thing to do for maybe somebody who doesn't want to be do a nude scene. Like maybe she doesn't want to show her tits. You know what I mean?
Because even when it shows her like as a giant, and she's like watching like Instagram reels that people posted of her, and there's like the emojis like over her chest. And the crowd is like above the pelvic line and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It is a smart way to do it.
While she's having sex with Sam, it's a puppet version of her having sex with Sam. It's fucking ridiculous.
America.
It's so funny.
Fuck yeah. Just
Gary sucked my cock.
But that is a fun and smart way to do it. And it makes sense for the character because they already established that, like, in his mind, that, like, he has that such a drastic disconnect from humanity that any sort of physicality with people surrounding him, he sees puppets.
I'd fuck a puppet. I mean, like a sock puppet.
Yeah.
Just without like the googly. It's a sock. It's just a sock.
It's a tube sock, but like a shorter one.
Yeah. So like an ankle sock.
Yeah. It's just a regular sock. Who cares? Well, on that note, we should tell you about our first sponsor, which is Raise Energy Drink. So if you need some socks, but you need the energy to do the socks, check out Raise Energy. They don't monitor this, but it is great. Great energy drink with zero calories, zero sugar, and zero crash. Lots of great flavors. And if energy drinks aren't your thing, check out their other lineup. They've got protein powders, not socks, but supplements to go with the socking.
Not just knock your socks off.
Yeah. And some of it's plant-based, which is pretty cool too. So listen up, learn how to save 15%. We'll be right back with you to talk about some nerd news. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Raise Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with zero crash. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, and powered by their Refresh formula technology, Raise Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you. All right, friends, now to catch you up on some nerd news. Invincible Season 2, we got an official full trailer instead of just like a little teaser. This past week and a half. Again, sorry that we didn't have an episode last week. Someone was on their deathbed. They pulled through. That's all I'm going to say about it. Unless you don't want me to, then we can restart.
Nope.
Cool.
Okay, leave it at that.
Yep. But also with that, Season 2 drops in about 2 weeks. And it looks so good. And Sterling K. Brown's character, as I don't know what his character's name is, but he...
America Chavez, basically.
Yeah, can travel the multiverse on a whim, can see the multiverse on a whim. Looks menacing. And sounds menacing. And it makes me want more Sterling K. Brown as villains in the future. Because he's always kind of been... I mean, it was like a one-off TV episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where he was a killer, but he's good.
He is a bad guy in Supernatural.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
Me neither.
Don't care about that. I watched the first 2 seasons, and then I heard that it just rinsed and repeated. That was enough.
Had to watch it all.
Yeah, that's fair. But also there's news that Season 3 of Invincible is pretty far along in the production.
Which means we hopefully won't have to wait 2 fucking years for Season 3.
Yeah,
like we did.
2.5, 3 years.
Yeah. Jesus.
I think we came out in 2021.
Yeah. And in a really bright note here, it looks like fans have basically bullied Brie Larson out of wanting to play Captain Marvel anymore.
I mean, it's bittersweet.
It's a bittersweet. It's a sour patch. You know, on one hand, she played the character well, and I like Captain Marvel. I like the movie. I like the role. I like the role. All that. Like, she's been great in every appearance that she's been in as Captain Marvel. But the happy part of it is that Brie Larson is a shit person. And I don't mean that as in like she doesn't like punch babies and kick puppies or anything. She's just an arrogant little bitch.
Yeah.
And I've never liked her as Captain. Again, I like the role. I just don't like her as an actress as Captain Marvel. And it sounds like maybe she's looking for an exit, and we did it. Good job, everyone. Have you seen her interviews? She's so...
Yeah, that's the thing, is she's
just so mean and lies about shit.
Facing persona just makes it seem like she thinks that she's above the roles that she has.
Yeah.
And there's kind of 2 ways to approach that. Is like, but those are the roles that you get, So like,
Yeah.
either you're not above it,
Yeah.
or your agent sucks. But then you do
I
press tours and
I think what happened
the
is
public
that
personas that you're.
she did a movie called The Room. I don't know if you've ever seen it or heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
And she got a lot of praise for that movie, like right away.
Yeah,
So like, and that was kind of like
it's a
early,
fucked up
you know,
movie.
yeah, super fucked up. But like everyone was like, "Oh my God, the performance!" And it was a really good movie. I mean, like she killed it. It was great. And then to be in movies that aren't that kind of a role, and she's like, "Pfft, I'm better than this," and it's like, then why did you take you know what I mean? Like, why did you take the role?
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up about it.
you could
Be
say
grateful.
no.
Yeah. If you don't know what we're talking about, look up some of her interviews for anything she's ever been in. She's a bitch. It's I don't know her personally, so I can't. Let me retract that a little bit. I don't know that she's a bitch.
She just comes across as arrogant and thinking that
yeah.
she's better than most of the roles that she's
Like there's
gotten.
literally there's a interview where she doesn't make fun of, but she kind of to Chris Hemsworth and I can't remember who the other person was, but she's like, "Oh, you guys had stunt doubles. I didn't use a stunt double." But then there was like set photos of like her stunt double on set, like doing stunts for her. It was like, what? Why even say that then? Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Stunt doubles are amazing. They need jobs and they do cool
Also,
shit.
like-
Like fucking
Tom Cruise of everyone also
I don't
still
wanna fucking-
uses a stunt double from
Yeah.
time to time.
She even made fun of she not made fun of, but she even said that shit. Remember? It was Don Cheadle. It was Chris Hemsworth and Don Cheadle in that interview, and she says, she was while she was talking about not having a stunt double, which she did, so she totally lied about that. And Chris Hemsworth goes, "Oh, you're like the next Tom Cruise." He wasn't trying to be a jerk. He was just saying like you're the next. And she snapped on him. And was like, "Excuse you, I'm not the next Tom Cruise. I'm the first Brie Larson. Thank you very much." And he just kind of like crosses his arms and is like, "Okay," like it's like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
And it's
He
Chris
wasn't
Hemsworth
being a dick.
where
Yeah.
he's like notorious for being like sarcastic
Yeah.
and like
And, like-
joking around. And it's like,
But-
also look at Chris Hemsworth. Like he does strong. I know, so hard. Like he does so much to prepare for the roles and does as many stunts as he can that are deemed safe, but it's like when it crosses that line of like, this might be a little bit dangerous, let's use someone that is trained to do it more properly so that you can continue filming tomorrow instead
But
of
the
6 weeks from now.
But the problem is she throws all that shade and is like, "Oh, I'm better than Tom." You know what I mean? But then you have a stunt double. Like, why were you even talking shit then? It doesn't make
And
sense.
Tom Cruise has a stunt double.
Yeah.
And
Whatever. I don't want to spend any
yeah.
more time on this. We did it. Good job, fans of this. We bullied a piece of shit out of the MCU. We'll see what happens going forward.
I mean,
that being said, I am
that's
very
kind of the point
excited.
of like the Secret Wars, Avengers Secret Wars, and Kang Dynasty is to give some of these actors fulfilling their contracts, but giving them an out.
Yeah.
Like, we're opening the door to where someone else can take up the mantle, and the story makes sense for a recast.
We have heard
instead
that this
of
is
Terrence
be
Howard.
It'll be a soft reboot
Yeah.
going forward after Avengers 6. Anyways, I didn't mean to spend that much time on it. I get really heated about her specifically.
Pacifically. Yeah, you're right.
Specifically. I just wanted to
intentionally said
enunciate
it wrong.
everything. Fucker, you want out? Please, get out.
Yeah.
I still think Jamie Dorman. No, that's a guy.
Yeah.
Who's the chick from Game of Thrones? Dormer.
Oh,
Natalie
Natalie
Dormer.
Dormer. Yeah.
Natalie Dormer.
Oh, she could
Please,
kill that
please,
role.
and thank you. Give us that Captain America, Captain Marvel.
Well, Captain America, please give us that Captain Marvel. Thank you. Also, there's news that came out that Deadpool 3 is also being delayed yet again because it's been delayed once before. And this kind of ties into the next thing of it's probably because the SAG-AFTRA strike did not have the best week and a half. Negotiations failed, which sucks. Like, pay the actors. The studios came together and they refused the use of AI and all these new emerging technologies that should not be used in a creative medium at all for the writers. And the actors are like, yeah, we want that. And they're like, yeah, eat shit.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
It's real dumb.
The studios walked away from negotiations when the actors were like, give us this basic dignity about this. Pay us what we're worth, and I don't know, don't pay us for a day and then use us for the next 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
Or our likeness.
Yeah.
Because of technology. And the studios were like, yeah, we already conceded to the writers, but like, you have a face.
Fucking stupid.
Oh, it's fucking terrible. So we've been talking about this for months now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Support the actors.
No.
The writer's strike has ended, but the actors still, the working actors. We're not talking about movie stars. We're not talking about Tom Cruise, The Rock, Helen Mirren. We're not talking about people like that. No. We're talking about extras, one-offs in TV shows, working actors where they have, in the past year and a half, 36 credits because they've been in one episode of various things. Those are the people that are fighting for the right to earn enough to live while they build their careers. No. Support them.
We should have put that at the end because I hate to like jump from that to just like, hey, here's some good news. You know what I mean?
But this next thing kind of ties into it, so it's kind of like a soft transition into something that's awesome and then something that's also not.
the Echo series, which is a spinoff of Daredevil. Hawkeye, yeah. I guess Hawkeye was the more. But yeah, the Echo series is done. It's completely done. They're ready to release. They're just waiting, for I assume the strike to end.
Yeah.
So, put that in your fucking
pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, because it's coming.
It's ready. It was supposed to come out next month. It was slotted for November.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's exciting. I want to see that. We know that. I think. I don't know if. Hopefully, Matt Murdock has a cameo in there somewhere.
I'm sure he does, just because of the correlation between Echo and Daredevil in the comics.
Yeah.
And the fact that Charlie Cox was at New York Comic Con this past week in full cosplay, just Bluey? Not as Daredevil. Yeah,
Bluey?
He dressed up so as funny. Bluey. That's amazing.
I wouldn't have had I been there and I saw him in that costume. I wouldn't have known that was him.
Only
I would have walked
only
right
through
past
social media, or if you were like close enough, You would have
Maybe,
just been
yeah.
like, hey, there's someone being like Bluey. That's funny, like off in the distance.
Yeah,
If you got close enough, I mean,
maybe.
maybe.
I think
But
about
you would have
you
had to
ever,
have known. Like,
I think
you
about that
wouldn't have known it
sometimes.
Friday or Saturday. If you were there like Sunday afternoon right before it ended and you saw them, you'd be like, is that Charlie? That's
Maybe
Charlie.
I've heard about, like actors sneaking into their own movies to
Yeah.
like watch like audience react. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield did it for
They wore
Spider-Man No
sunglasses
Way
and
Home.
a
All
baseball
all
cap,
they did
which
was wear hats and glasses, and it was during the pandemic, so they wore their mask. But like they literally, a couple of people were sitting right next to two massive Hollywood stars in a theater,
and didn't know.
had no fucking clue,
Yeah.
and that blows my mind. Like, and,
It
and
debunks
that's what
the like the fan like how does Captain America wearing a baseball hat and sunglasses get away? And it's like
yeah.
they movie stars do it all the time and you never
Yeah.
notice.
That's what I'm saying.
Of
Like,
course.
it's crazy to me that they're people, and you don't, unless you like are somewhere that you're gonna run into a celebrity. You're not looking twice at somebody like, holy fuck, that guy kind of looks like Robert Downey Jr. You know what I mean? Like, you just go about your day. So like, you know. Anyways, we're way off topic. You go. I brought up the last one. You go.
This past week, Spider-Man 2.
Oh, that would have been a good transition. We were just talking about Spider. Whatever.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2 came out on the PS5. I was traveling this past weekend, and when it became available on the PS5, I hadn't watched Loki, the latest episode of Loki, which we'll talk about here in a second. So, and I was staying at a friend's house, and he's recovering from surgery, but he was like, hey, I pre-ordered it. It's ready to go. Like, I'm stuck in bed and the PS5 is out in the living room. So if you want to watch it or if you want to play. And I was like, I have homework. I can't. I was like, I want to, but also I know if I play it, I'm not going to go to my cousin's wedding. So like, I kind of have to not play it. I'm so excited for this game. The original, the Miles Morales, second one that kind of takes place in between. Fantastic games. I love them both. I
don't have
both of them a
PS5.
lot.
I have a PS4, so that's kind of a bummer.
Same. I don't have a PS5. It's in the next couple months. I hope to get one. We'll see how my impulse buying goes. But it's out there, and from everything I've seen, that it's incredible.
Yeah. And then lastly, DC, get your shit together.
James Gunn, please.
James Gunn. I feel like we talk about James Gunn every week when we do this because he's flip-flopping so fucking much. Now
he
after
flip-flops more than like an Eggo waffle, okay?
After he said, I mean, just weeks ago, a month ago maybe, at Tops, that the only DC characters going forward that are gonna be canon were like Blue Beetle and John Cena's, Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Now he is recanted on that and said that and said that I didn't even mean to do that. I think I'm having a stroke.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
He's now canceled Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle 2 is not coming out. Blue Beetle will not be a part of the DCU. But for some reason, Peacemaker will.
Well, that's because his wife was a part of it. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's just
the thing is, it sucks. I love James Gunn.
I do too.
I
but I
trust
just wanna
him to make
shake him.
good stuff. Like he'll make. I think that he's a good person for this job, but he needs to like, I don't know, either of shut the fuck up from the beginning, or shut the fuck up partway through it after he said what was what, instead of just talk the entire fucking time.
He's been so from the beginning, from the announcement that James Gunn is taking over. He's been like, all right, we're firing some of the people. We're gonna keep Wonder Woman, and then they didn't keep they fired Cavill, and
because
then
they wanted
like,
a younger Superman,
Yeah.
and then
And
they
then
cast a younger Superman, and then
they're
people
like,
are
we're
like,
gonna
oh
keep
yeah,
Wonder
younger
Woman,
Superman.
though.
He's like, I never
but then
wanted a younger
and then they were
Superman.
like, oh, actually, we're not gonna keep Wonder Woman. And then the movies that are coming out, like there's still Aquaman is still coming out. Blue Beetle came out, and he's like, "Whoa, this will be canon. Blue Beetle's gonna be canon." And then now he's like, "Actually, no, it's not gonna be canon." And then Aquaman and Wonder Woman are gonna be canon, but not Cavill. And then he was like, never mind, we're not. Wonder Woman's fired and Aquaman's fired, but now Jason Momoa is in talks to play Lobo in the new Superman movie. And it's like, dude, fucking stop.
Yeah, just
Like
if you were this unsure, and when people have like asked him about it, it's like, yeah, it's only natural for them to be unsure about what the future holds. And it's like, yeah, because we're following what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like,
you're confusing everyone.
If you were this unsure, like you had a plan and you didn't know who you wanted to have cast in these roles, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Then shut the fuck up. Don't be like, yeah, Gal Gadot is coming back, Henry Cavill's coming back. Just kidding, not Henry Cavill.
They even like had a talk about it. Like they even like had like a meeting about it where he had like talked to Gal Gadot and was like, all right, yeah, she's coming back for a third movie, and then announced it. Like there's receipts. It's online. You can see
Same
him
with
saying that
him not wanting him wanting to do a younger Superman, and that's why Henry Cavill got fired or wasn't re-signed for his contract, and then they cast the new Superman, which again, still trusting James Gunn to make a good film. And then he's like, well, I never said I didn't want to specifically do a younger Superman. It's like, dude,
copy paste.
Google is free. Like, there are screen grabs of you tweeting about, Xing about this. Oh, what the fuck does that even mean? Meh.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Stop canceling everything again. Just shut up until we get something, and then announce
or until
what
you
your plan
know
is.
what you're gonna, whatever. Anyways, we're done. We're done. We're gonna talk about sponsor number 2.
Fine.
Sponsor number 2 is our title sponsor. It's Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce. It goes on practically anything. Listen up, we'll tell you more about it. Should I not have done that because we?
No, you were so no, we didn't. Yeah, that was
Okay.
so right, and it's so good.
All right, beautiful.
Hey, you nerds, do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today.
Okay, we are going to talk about Loki, episode 3, season 2. Well, actually, we're going to talk about episode 2 and 3 because we did not record last week because somebody was on their deathbed.
Wasn't me, and by the sounds of it, it wasn't you. It's clearly our shadow partner.
Anyways, so Loki episode 2 and 3. I know you had sent me a message and you were like on episode 2 and you were like, dude, did you watch Loki yet? And I was like, no. And you were like, oh my God, it's the best episode yet. And then I watched it. And then I watched episode 3 before you watched episode 3. And I was like, dude, did you watch episode 3 yet? And you're like, not yet. And I was like, holy shit, it's the best episode yet.
It was
This
wild.
show is my favorite. Season 1 and now season 2 is my favorite Marvel TV show so far.
Yeah.
It's so good. Sorry, I have the hiccups. You go for a minute. Let me hold
Well,
my breath.
what's cool about the show is that it is still connected, but a lot of everything that happens in the episodes is not necessarily connected. You know, it allows for the multiverse, but like they don't dive into it because for those that haven't watched it, spoiler alert,
I was gonna say
season
spoiler.
1 is very much about eliminating the possibility of multiverse aspects.
Mhm.
And now season 2, they've kind of embraced it. The TVA has switched because obviously He Who Remains dies. Ravana yeets herself into a different timeline at the end of season 1. And all of that, but it's like things that could be within the multiverse without branching out, but it's kind of like its own thing. It's like
Yeah.
it's a detective show.
What? And the cool thing about it is that we know that going forward, the MCU is looking to, in order to keep going, they have to soft reboot, which means that some characters will remain, some characters will not. This is how we're getting Wolverine in Deadpool 3 and the original X-Men and some of the newer X-Men, but then also going forward, we're going to get a whole new cast of X-Men that
And
won't
the
have any of
Fantastic
those original
Four.
characters and fantastic. Yeah. So they're soft rebooting, and Loki ties into that. It's the beginning stages of how this is possible. It's really fucking cool. I know that the writer had mentioned, you and I didn't talk about this. I read this. The writer of Loki season 1 and 2 has said that his end goal is to reunite Loki with Thor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's awesome.
We did talk about that, just not on camera.
Did we? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. Let's go fuck myself.
Yeah, mahalo.
Wow. Fuck, I'm mad at myself.
Cool. As you should be. No, and it's. I mean, the show's just been so good. If without bringing in too many of the MCU characters, but still letting it be so
Its own
heavily
thing. Yeah.
tied into it, but still its own entity, like you said, they've played that balance so appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's not trying too hard to be one thing or the other.
Yeah.
It just fits in that groove.
Yeah. I gotta say, I liked Sylvie a lot more in season 1 than I do this season so far.
Well, it's because she found a career with McDonald's Corporation.
Yeah.
I mean,
She's kind of a little bitch this season.
I mean, I watched the first episode. It might have been when someone was on their deathbed. I rewatched all of season 1 as well. I mean, it's 6 episodes, 6 hours over the course of a week. And let's be honest, I was not watching one episode.
Yeah, you
night.
did it in 6 hours.
No, I did it over the course of 2 or 3 days. 2 days. she was never friendly. She was never great.
But she was awesome.
Her mission hasn't changed.
Nope.
It's just that she succeeded in part 1 and doesn't know what part 2 entails for her.
I think it's the mullet. It's throwing me off. It's not a mullet.
She got bangs.
She's
a mullet would have a lot more Bon Jovi flair. She's
definitely party in the back right now.
It would be so much more Billy Ray Cyrus going on from the crown of her head to the back if it was a true mullet.
I'm just not digging it. She's got a very small town McDonald's employee vibe to her. And
small town Oklahoma, if you will.
Yeah.
From like the 1980s, maybe. That's the timeline that she chose to go to. For those that still haven't watched and are still listening for some spoiler alert reason.
Episode 2 is a little bit heartbreaking. I mean, billions of people die.
I would say trillions.
Yeah. I mean, each timeline is a world.
Billions of people on a single planet.
Yeah. And multiple, I mean, by the handful, timelines are getting executed. Yeah.
Yeah. General Dox, who we only heard the name once, maybe twice in season 1. We actually get a face at General Dox. She is the leader of the TVA hunters, which are the ones that actually prune timelines and stuff like that. It's Kate Dickie. For Game of Thrones fans, it's Lady Erin that gets thrown through the moon door and definitely breastfed a child way too long. She's the one that bombs the timelines.
Mm-hmm.
And she's menacing on her own, and she's not even the big bad.
Yeah.
From when we're introduced to her in episode 1, you're like, she evil. Like, pinky to the corner of the mouth evil. Everybody clear the room. Except for Mobius. Except for Brad. Except for B-52. Loki, take the hint. Sorry, different reference for the younglings there. We'll send Anakin to explain it to you. But the most recent episode, we get a variant of Kang, Victor Timely, in the 1880s.
It is
1890s. Sorry.
The episode 3 picks up where the end credits scene from Ant-Man Quantumania leaves off.
Yeah.
Which is Loki and Mobius witnessing Timely doing an experiment on stage, and Loki leans over to Mobius and he goes, "That's him. That's he who remains." And like that's the end credit scene. And that's where this episode picks up. This whole episode is Jonathan Majors. It's Kang. It's awesome. It's so cool. We get reunited with Ravonna, and she's as big of a piece of shit as she's ever been.
Oh, yeah.
You just really want somebody to punch her in the face.
Well, not just Ravonna, but Miss Minutes. Both of them are so horny for He Who Remains. Like, there's no better way to put it.
That's a way to put it. That's a way to put it. Yeah.
Describe it better. They both want him.
Yeah.
They both want to be the right hand, the partner.
The funny part is that they don't want him as he is right now.
No, they want who he was.
They know the person that he will become, and they're like, this is the next best thing.
Yeah. Because we get Victor Timely, variant of Kang, and he's stuttering, ahead of his time, and his inventions are above what the technology allows, so none of them work. And it provides for some comic relief because they still need it. Otherwise, it's just James Gunn, DC.
He's a little annoying. I understand that it's the character he's playing, but he reminds me a little of the kid. I don't remember
Dewey.
his name, but is it what'd you say?
Dewey from Malcolm in
Dewey.
the Middle.
No, not
Oh,
Dewey.
no, not
Dewey's
Dewey.
it's the kid in the wheelchair, and he talks like this, and you're just like fucking spit out a sentence, dude. And that's how this version of Kang talks, and it's super annoying. But I do like Jonathan Majors so
Stevie.
far. Stevie, yeah.
Not Dewey. That's the youngest brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's sometimes like because when you first are introduced to this Victor Timely, the variant of Kang, he's like on stage and he's like almost performing as he speaks. So you're like, that's a weird way to phrase things. And then as the episode goes on, you're like, no, that's just him. That's how he talks.
Yeah. I did notice they try to dumb down the like this is gonna sound kind of whatever, but Jonathan Majors is fucking jacked. He's a huge individual.
Yeah, he's so built.
And they try to dumb him down in this in this episode and portrayal of him, but there are parts that I noticed where like even in his like suit, like his jacket, and he's like holding on to like his like scrapbook or whatever, and his fucking
like...
biceps are just like popping out. And I'm like, dude, you guys can't hide this. Like this guy's too big.
They tried to hide in the fact of 1880s or 1890s fashion where everything's oversized, nothing fits right. It's all
didn't work. Definitely
off the
didn't
rack.
work.
And it's like, well, if it's off the rack and he bought something that fit his body, his arms don't match. That's funny that you said that, because there are a couple of times where I was like, is he just faking like the way he talks or the stutter because like he is like this big menacing dude, and then the next scene you're like, no, they just didn't know how to hide that properly.
He's like busting out of like he's like going like this, and he's like busting out of his friggin' jacket, and I was like, you can.
And he gets like tossed.
You guys can't hide how big he is with a stutter. Like this guy.
But also like good for Jonathan Majors, like playing that role of a variant of this person that is so menacing, but like the way that he speaks is just so diminished. I mean it's crazy. The show like
I was reading your notes on Miss Minutes and I started laughing. Sorry.
Yeah, Miss Minutes definitely portrays herself as, I mean, it's Tara Strong. She's the voice of our childhood. If you are between the ages of 15 and 40, you know Tara Strong's voice from something.
Yeah.
Whether it's DC animation,
which is
the
wild
fucking Rugrats.
Like she's good looking.
Yeah.
Why are you just a voice actress? Be an actress.
I don't. Easier, and it probably pays well.
Yeah.
Probably pays super well for the career that she's built.
Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3? She does the voice of Cosmo, the dog.
Not Guardians 3.
Yeah. Cosmo, the dog. The telepathic dog. That's Tara Strong.
No, I thought that was an actual I think it's a Ukrainian actress, but she does it in the Christmas the holiday special.
You're right. No, it's the chick from Borat 2 that does Cosmo's
Yeah.
voice, and
She does it in the holiday special, I believe, and then also she's the voice of the one of the, not the floating head, but the fully cybernetic character.
Miley
in,
Cyrus did it in the second one.
yeah,
Fuck, you're right.
but
God damn.
but she's she's all over the place,
Yeah.
as a voice actress. And
Mainframe.
Mainframe, thank you.
Yeah.
But I mean, Tara Strong is the voice of our childhood. Let's be honest. But what's weird is that Miss Minutes, because He Who Remains, a variant of Kang, creates her as an AI, and she's obsessively in love with Kang to the point where she's become a pick-me girl.
Explain what a pick-me girl is, please.
Sound it out, and then you understand. It's the friend zone that got one chance and then got denied, and then is still in the friend zone after getting denied. That's a pick-me. There's no better way to really.
Maria Bakalova is Cosmo.
Yes, and she's a Ukrainian actress, or is it Bolivian?
I will tell you now.
I think she's from Kiev in Ukraine, but little off topic.
Sorry.
No, it's totally fine.
I was just curious.
Yeah, no, Miss. While you're looking that up, I mean, Miss Minutes.
Bulgarian.
Bulgarian. Oh, I said Bolivian.
Yeah.
Bolivia is in South America. I know this. I just confuse them sometimes.
Okay. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, she Miss Minutes is kind of pervy.
Mm-hmm.
Not like in a necessarily let me be overly sexual, because that'd be weird because she's an AI.
No, she
clock.
totally is. She attaches herself to a mannequin and it was like, why didn't you make me a body so we could be together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to be a pick-me.
Hmm.
And it's kind of weird, and then she gets re-trapped in one of the temp pads, and I'm so bewildered on where Miss Minutes is gonna go. And it also kind of bums me out because I bought a Miss Minutes clock for my office.
I saw that.
And now I see it every day, and I'm like, or I will see it every day, because what's funny is I watched this latest episode where she's like, I'm a pick-me, when I was out of town. So now every time I look up, I'm like, I can't look at that the same way. It's not a Jessica Rabbit. Okay, let's put it that way.
Oh, Tara Strong was a voice in The Fairly Odd Parents, Teen Titans Go, Teen Titans, The Boondocks.
Who is she in Teen Titans? Raven? Does she?
It doesn't. I could click on it. Oh shit! I clicked on the wrong thing. Teen Titans, Tara Strong. Yeah, Raven.
Raven. Yeah.
Yep. The Boondocks, which is surprising. The Little Mermaid 2. I mean, Powerpuff Girls, Rugrats. Like you had already said that earlier. Ben 10.
Powerpuff Girls and Ben 10 make sense.
Ice Age.
Who in Ice Age?
I don't know.
Additional voices.
Probably.
She's super talented as a voice actress, and this is nothing against Tara Strong. I mean, she's been the voice of, like I've said, our childhoods.
Yeah.
if you're between the ages of 15 and 40, like, you know Tara Strong by her
Rick and Morty.
work.
Oh, she's in the Batman the Killing Joke? What?
She's Barbara Gordon.
Now I'm just nerding.
She voices Barbara Gordon.
Sorry. And like
Yeah.
Danny Phantom, Scooby Doo. She's credited in Deadpool 3 as Miss Minutes, which is fucking dope.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. But yeah, she did voice Barbara Gordon in some of the animated DC, which will come up in my honorable mentions, and that's why I knew that she did some DC animation, which is crazy. But yeah, also, like, we already mentioned the mullet of the episodes of Sylvie, and it's hilarious that she really wants to get back to the 1980s, to her just day job of working at McDonald's. And then when you think about it, you're like, yeah, but in the 1980s, working at McDonald's, you could, like, pay for college and buy a house with cash and stuff like that. So, like, it makes sense. You know, thank you, Reaganomics. Pre-Reaganomics, let's be honest. Because trickle-down doesn't work. Talk about the hair flips, please.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is something that we joked about when we were talking about the season 1, is that Loki is constant. I mean, there's a montage on YouTube of Tom Hiddleston flipping his hair. I almost flipped my headphones right off my
So did I, as I acted alongside you.
And there are some parts that are just completely unnecessary. There are parts where his hair is not even in his face, and he's like, huh! And it's like, dude, chill, bruh.
It probably uses less muscles to do this.
I'm curious if it's his actual hair or if it's like extensions.
Now it's probably a wig, if I had to guess.
That'd be my guess, like, too.
Avengers 1, I think he grew his hair out for it, but he's been in other things since then with short hair, consistently short hair, so I would guess it's probably a wig or extensions.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It gets more and more unnecessary as the series goes on.
I mean, I love it. Keep doing it, but it's hilarious.
It's just funny to see.
Make a game out of it. Next time you watch.
Oh, I'm not going to make it through the full episode if you're saying
Don't take a shot. Don't take a shot. Take a drink.
It's still going to be nicely buzzed. The last one. Yeah. With that being said. Yeah, there's a handful of them. And then, of course, I know I'm saying it wrong, but Ki-Hee Kwan,
oh, buddy,
who plays Ouroboros or Obi, still the best. I hate to reduce him to Short Round from Indiana Jones, because he's been in other things since then and killed it in everything that he's in.
Fucking A, I had hiccups. Sorry.
I'm just trying to talk over him. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
No, but Obi's...
Little known fact about him that people may not know is, excuse my hiccups, I can't hold my breath and talk at the same time.
That was me making fun of you. I'm sorry.
But he was a one of the fight coordinators in the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Specifically X2. He was one of the, not coordinators, what do you call it?
Choreographers.
Choreographers, yeah. He's specifically the fight scene between Hugh Jackman.
You're diminishing his importance with your
and the female version of
that was
Wolverine.
X-23 is what they called her, is what she's credited as X-23.
In X2, that fight scene between the two of them, he coordinated that fight scene. choreographed that fight scene. Fuck! You suck. I gotta hold my breath.
Which is it's wild because for a long time people spoke about him, especially in I think it was 2021 or 2022 when he won his Oscar for Everything Always All at Once, or I might have always
you're right.
everything all at once.
It's
Everything always all at
everything.
once.
No, not there's no always. It's everything.
Everything everywhere all at once. Thank you for. I didn't mean to speak over you. I just know that you're trying to.
You need to speak
resist,
over me. I can't
resist some hiccups. Headlines everywhere like, yeah, he, Kihei Wan, it's Kehui, and then and then Guan.
No, Quan.
Oh, Quan.
I got it pulled up right here.
But people were talking about, oh, he's made a comeback in Hollywood, and it's like he didn't leave; he just didn't act. He's produced, he's directed, he's been a choreographer. Like, he never left. It's just that you didn't see his face until he was a little bit older, and then. But he's fucking great in this show. Like, he's the highlight. Every time I see him, like, I just smile. Like, he's so great. In this show, like, season 2 is, sometimes, like, from season to season, you're like, yeah, this season's great. Man, this season, man. This is so consistent. And it's still the best show of the MCU. It's still not even MCU, it's just a great fucking show. Yes, let's go ahead. Cool. Thanks, Jake. Let's go ahead and wrap this up.
All right, before we close out this episode, we are going to talk about our honorable mentions. Chad, what do you have?
Well,
That's great, Chad. No, I'm just kidding.
We had some time because someone, not naming names, was dying. It's still funny. It's that time of year, so I rewatched all the Harry Potter films, but also I rewatched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We talked about it, not on episode or anything like that, but I was like, I haven't watched that in a long time, so I rewatched that. Forgot how much I loved it. And I've also been watching the animated DC Universe films, like the ones that are officially linked, like from the Flashpoint Paradox, the Constantine, Justice League Dark, a couple of the Teen Titans films and stuff like that. And that's been fun. There's been a handful of holes because they jump between who writes and directs those. But what about you? What do you have for honorable mentions? Cool.
Hold on. Sorry.
Super glad.
Anyways, my honorable. I had looked. I was sorry. I was. I was looking up. I remember when we talked about it that in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the point of the movie is that they're trying to find out what the meaning of life is, and when they eventually get to, He Who Remains, they ask what is the meaning of life, and he says 42, and 42 translates to the code for the asterisk, which translates to everything. So the meaning of life is everything.
Yeah, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways,
which is different than my theory. Sorry.
What was your theory?
Well,
you told me, but I forgot.
So 42 is the equivalent of 2 6-sided dice. So it's to die. The meaning
Oh.
of life is to die.
Yeah, and that's everything. So, you know.
Yeah, so they're both right. And what's hilarious is that Arthur, the author of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, actual like science fiction novel, is he just thought it would be funny for 42 to be the answer, and everything past that would just be up to the reader's speculation. He just thought it'd be funny if 42 was the answer, and then the great mind, I think is what they call that computer.
Yeah.
Or the whatever they call it, something mind, is from there open to speculation. He just thought it'd be funny if 42 was the answer.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what's the meaning to life and everything in the universe? And they're like, 42. And he's
Well,
like,
at first he's like,
funny.
let me think about it.
Yeah.
And he sits there for like ever.
Come back
and
in
then he goes,
1,000 years.
42.
And they're like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, you asked for the answer, but you didn't ask the right question. You have to find the thing that asks the ultimate question, and then you'll have my answer. So it's so open-ended.
Yeah.
It's genius and hilarious at the same time.
Yeah. Anyways. My honorable mentions are pretty short this week. We started watching Goosebumps, the new one on Hulu. Yeah, it's okay.
Isn't it Jason Long?
Justin Long? But yes.
Yeah, Jason. I said Jason. Justin Long.
He's a character in it, and he's not like the main character, but
ooh, the trailer makes it seem like he is.
that's because he's like the only like
adult
celebrity, like
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
It's okay. I won't lie to you. I'm gonna finish watching it just because it's something.
Started it.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go back and rewatch it or anything. And we watched The Witch, which I love that movie. I was a little disappointed in my girlfriend because she did not care for it, and that was a bummer. If you haven't seen The Witch,
I'm trying to think.
It's like colonial times during like the witch trials and shit like that. And Anya Taylor-Joy is in it. Very young Anya Taylor-Joy. She's the main character. Also, that chick, what was the girl's name from Loki? That's also in Game of Thrones?
Oh, Kate Dickies?
She is Anya Taylor-Joy's mom in that movie.
Oh,
in The Witch.
Not Kate Dickey. Sorry, not Dickies.
It is. I thought the movie was super unnerving. It's not scary. There's no jump scares. There's no like scary ghouls or demons and blah blah blah. I thought the movie is just unnerving and it rubbed me the wrong way. Nicole did not feel the same way, which is kind of a bummer. I did make her watch last night Hereditary, which is by the same director, Ari something. I forget his last name. Ari, whatever. Anyway, Hereditary is terrifying. That's in my opinion, one of the scariest movies I've ever seen that isn't like ghosts and whatever. If you haven't watched it, watch it. I don't want to spoil it. It's very... You just kind of finish the movie going like, what the hell?
Ari Aster.
Aster, yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's really good. I mean, you could watch it and you would be fine. It's not that kind of a movie. There's no like scary it's a scary movie, but there's no like jump scares. There's no like ghosts. You know what I mean? Like
it's just unnerving.
It fucks with you. Like when you finish watching it, you're just kind of like,
I don't know how to feel.
I feel like I need to take a shower or something. Like I just don't feel good after watching this movie.
I want to call my mom and tell her that I love her. Just like one of those things where it's like at the end of it.
It's like based on our conversation earlier.
Yeah, that's why I made that
our lie
joke.
detectors detected that is not true.
Our test came back that is a lie.
Yeah, it's a really fun movie, and if you this was probably like my third or fourth time watching it. If you really, really pay attention, there's a lot of little hidden things in this movie, Hereditary. And even this past time that I watched it, I picked up on shit that I didn't pick up on the previous times, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't notice that before, and now I notice it. So there's a lot of little tiny details that allude to what's really happening in the movie, and it's wild.
And that's so cool.
Yeah.
Just like little things that on rewatches, you appreciate more.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It is spooky season, god damn it. So watch all those scary movies. That's what I've been doing.
Get them all. And they don't all have to be super spooky scary. There's like Donnie Darko and stuff like that are just like mind fucks. But
Exorcist is in theaters.
Seasonal.
Just saying.
We were gonna go see it, and then someone, not saying who, on our staff was dying. Speaking of our staff, yeah, I know. But speaking of our staff, and if you want to support them, you can always go to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. It's a monthly subscription where you give us your money, and it's fantastic because we don't profit anything. Everything goes back to the people that help us or to give back to our listeners. We like to, give it back. If you don't want to do that on a monthly subscription, we totally understand. I mean, it's lame, but like you can totally just go to allthingsnerdpodcast.com. We will have a new website courtesy of Digicat Tech here in the next few weeks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be up and running. It's a great way to support us. And you get, anytime that you give us your money through that, you get something each time instead of a monthly basis where you get member exclusive stuff. So that's still better. But great way to support the show. If you don't want to give us your money, still lame. But you can go to all of our social medias, like, share, subscribe. It honestly does help. We like to make jokes because either way, we're not taking money. We just want to support the people that are making our dreams come true through us making your dreams come true. I don't know. That trailed off so hard, it failed. Sorry.
Finish up.
Like, share, and subscribe. It's the best way, honestly, the best way to help us grow so we can do bigger and better things. We love all of our listeners, and thank you for letting us do this. And this has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.